Our next reader is a native Chicagoan who has traveled a lot, but always returns home. As a docent for the Chicago Architecture Foundation, she tells stories of Chicago and the people that make it a great city. 2 years ago, she took an early retirement from the Chicago Board of Education and is now exploring the world beyond kids, paperwork, and her daily rant about Rahm Emanuel. She has told stories at This Much Is True, Story Lab, Do Not Submit, That's All She Wrote, Is This a Thing, Homewood Stories, and at various open mics around the city. Please welcome Karen Genelly.
When I was growing up, there was one subject that never, ever got talked about with the kids. S-E-X. Yes, sex. It was as if talking to the kids about sex, about growing up, about, human development, well, that was all a dirty little secret and not something that was ever meant to happen. I can remember asking my mother, "Mom, where do babies come from?" "God," is what she said. Really? But I thought, listen, Karen, you don't need to know any more now. God, that's what you need to know. Well, growing up, I asked a lot of questions, and when puberty started to take some changes coming, I asked my older sister, Sharon, do you know why, girls' bodies change, they get breasts and that monthly menstrual period? Sharon looked at me and, with all the wisdom of an older sister, said, it's just the way things work. In science class, Sister Mary Frances, she said, that's just what women's lives are like. Get used to it. Get used to it? I was a little bit confused, but I got the message. Talking about sex or changes, that always was going to make people nervous. And so I stopped asking questions. Instead, I went to other places to find out about sex. No, not boys. I went to books and movies and other friends. I have to tell you, this was not a good plan. Books. I used to find a romance novel, take it into my bedroom at night, covers over, get the flashlight out, and read all of those steamy kind of words. His skin was tawny, muscular, and he held that delicate woman who was swooning with heaving breasts. And then the world melted away. What? The world melted away? Okay, a little bit titillating, but not very informative. Movies. You'd be surprised. Movies, when I was growing up, they didn't have all that much either. They left a lot to your imagination. Charlotte, I love you. Oh, Henry, I love you too. Then the embrace and the music with the hit crescendo. And then the screen would go blank. Again, entertaining, not much information. But there was one group of people who never ever had any problems talking about sex. My girlfriends. Well, at one pajama party, I remember my best friend Joan, she started the discussion. I heard that you could get pregnant by French kissing. Whoa, really? That's true, I said. And I kept on pretending I knew what French kissing was all about. Okay, You get the message, right, about what it was like growing up. So maybe you find it as ironic as I do, that as a counselor, my principal decided that I would be a good person to be in charge of teaching sex education to a group of 5th and 6th graders in a Chicago public school. Okay, I thought things have changed. We live in a world where Miley Cyrus is twerking on stage and people are becoming, famous because they have a sex tape. This would be good. Nobody's gonna get upset about teaching kids about development and sexuality, right? Wrong. First off, there were the parents. Oh, no. I do not want my child in this class. I think kids should stay kids for as long as possible. And then, of course, there were the other teachers who were more than supportive, as long as I was the person doing all of the teaching of sex education and not them. One particularly very shy male teacher, well, he would meet me at the door as I was walking in. "I'm sorry," he said, "I cannot be here while you are teaching this subject. It's just all too embarrassing." Okay, so maybe the adults were not ready for sex education, but the kids, they were looking forward to it. One morning, I'm on breakfast duty, so I walk into the cafeteria, and there are these 2 little 5th grade girls who call me over. "Psst, Miss Genelly, could you come here, please?" I walk over, expecting, I don't know, a joke, a complaint, maybe a compliment. "Yes, ladies, how can I help you?" They look at each other. Then they scan to see if anybody is listening. And then, in a whispered voice, say, "When are we going to start studying the P word?" P word? Ooh, there are a lot of possibilities. I stall for time. Which P word would that be, ladies? I tried to sound cool and calm. You know, Miss Genelly, puberty! Well, the Board of Education in Chicago's unit on sex education, we like to call it family life, well, it dealt with the joys and the sorrows of puberty. You could not believe how shell-shocked those kids looked the day that we started talking about hair growing in places that hair had never grown before. Believe me, a pen could be heard when we compared the sexual development of girls to the sexual development of boys. Okay, admittedly, talking about hygiene, well, that can be embarrassing when you're talking about the need to bathe every day and change your underwear and how acne was about to become your new best friend. But it was all a prelude to our discussions on sexual intercourse and conception. I would start every class with a prepared respect speech. We will respect ourselves, our subject matter, and each other. There is nothing that you cannot talk about or that you cannot ask me, as long as you do it in a respectful manner. Believe me, as soon as you tell a group of kids that they can talk about and ask you anything, you're about to find yourself saying things you never thought you would. First off, there were the questions. Miss Genelly, my mother says that women have dirty blood, and that's why they have to have a period every month. Is that true? Miss G, What exactly is this thing masturbation all about? And then from a particularly shy little boy, could you tell us why boys bolster? I learned how to say penis, testicles, vagina, without laughing nervously. But I was just waiting for that inevitable question that came up every time. Miss Genelly, I get it. You got this sperm cell, that's from a boy, and you got this egg cell, that's from a girl, right? And the sperm and the egg cell, they come together, and then you get a baby. Okay, I got that. But what I don't get, how'd that sperm cell make it to that egg cell? Okay, I always knew that I was going to have to get more specific about sexual reproduction, and intercourse was part of that. But I gotta tell you, the Catholic school girl in me wanted to run too high and basically sidestep that question altogether. But I had said that we could talk about anything. And so, in a respectful and sixth grade appropriate way, we got specific on how that sperm cell made it to that egg cell. I gotta tell you, sex education, family life, it went on for a long time. 6 long weeks, 5 days a week, different classes, same subject matter. There were days when I talked about nothing but sperm. I gotta tell you, this can get boring. But finally, the end was in sight. It was the last class that I was teaching this year on sex education. A Friday, last period. A group of 5th grade boys and I had taken our chairs and put them in a circle. I passed out the book, Growing Up, Boys Edition. And then for the next 45 minutes, we talked about wet dreams. It's okay. We talked about, jock itch. It can be prevented. And also that if you're going to play sports, protective coverings. I'll be honest with you, I was getting tired of it all. It was so time to end the subject of sex education. Gentlemen, we don't have that much time left, so can any of you, since this is our last class, tell me something you've learned today? Every single boy squirmed nervously, put their head down, and made no eye contact. But I continued. Okay, well, we have learned about hormones, right? I checked my watch again. 5 minutes more, just 5 minutes more, and I would be done. Yes, let's summarize and get out. So, my mind kind of went on autopilot as I began my well-practiced summary of sex education. Gentlemen, as we all know, baby boys are born with 2 penises. What? Huh? 16 little boys all looking at me. Confusion in their eyes. Something's wrong. What had I? Oh my God! Oh God! No! I misspoke. No, baby boys. 1 penis, 2 testicles, 1 penis, just 1. Not 2, just 1. Well, the boys all looked at me, relief in their eyes. And then we all just couldn't stop laughing. Said Casimir, a little boy sitting next to me, I didn't think that could be true. But then again, you never know. Well, I made sure that over and over and over again that everybody went home understanding that baby boys, just one penis, and males could expect only one penis for their entire life. Okay, you got it. Teaching sex education had its embarrassing moments. But you know what? Looking back on it, I think it was one of the best things that I ever did as a counselor. Kids need to talk. Talking to them and answering their questions about what's happening with their bodies or you know, what is sexual intercourse, and even tell them how babies actually come. That's not evil or dirty. That's life. I think the kids I taught learned that, you know, a little bit more about who they are because of sex education. And knowing who you are should never be a dirty little secret. Thank you.